Welcome back to Proper Form Entertainment. Today, we will look into the fascinating world of superheroes. We'll be exploring the iconic superhero, Superman, and shedding light on the early limitations of his extraordinary powers. We will then compare Superman's author's original ideas for the character and that of Akira Toriyama's plan for Goku. So grab your capes and your gis, sit back, and let's get started. In the world of superheroes, one name stands above all others. Superman, born out of the creative minds of Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster, this iconic character has captivated readers for over 8 decades. However, as you look into the origins of Superman and the evolution of his powers, it becomes evident that the Superman we often see today is a result of reader engagement and personal interpretations. Furthermore, we will explore how Goku from Dragon Ball, as envisioned by creator Akira Toriyama, will pose a formidable challenge to the early incarnation of Superman. Superman, the Man of Steel, is known for his incredible superhuman abilities, which make him virtually invincible. But did you know, in his early comic book appearances, Superman's powers weren't as limitless as they are today? Early Superman comics, published in the late 1930s and early 1940s, portrayed the character with a more grounded set of abilities. Superman was still faster than a speeding bullet and able to leap tall buildings in a single bound, but his powers were yet to reach the godlike levels we see today. One of the most notable limitations of Superman's powers was his inability to fly. Yes, you heard it right. In the early years, Superman had super strength, super speed, and enhanced senses, but could not fly. He relied on his impressive leaping ability to get around, rather than soaring through the skies. Vintage comic book panels capture the thrill of his mighty leaps, where he could cover tremendous distances and reach high altitudes, but still remain bound by the laws of gravity. He could jump up to 1/8 of a mile, but considerably less than the Incredible Hulk. Another interesting limitation was the absence of Superman's iconic heat vision. The ability where beams of energy shoot from his eyes was not introduced until much later in his comic book career. Although heat vision has since become an integral part of Superman's powers, it took some time for this ability to manifest in the comics. Writers and artists continually expanded Superman's capabilities as the character gained popularity. Initially, Superman's powers were relatively limited compared to his modern portrayals. His strength, invulnerability, and the ability to leap tall buildings in a single bound captivated readers of the time. However, he did not possess the ability to fly or shoot heat vision like he does now. These iconic abilities were introduced later. The early Superman embodied the spirit of the era, showcasing extraordinary abilities that were awe-inspiring and relatable to the readers. As Superman's popularity grew, his powers expanded to accommodate readers' increasing expectations. The introduction of flight, heat vision, super breath, and an ever-expanding array of superhuman abilities allowed writers, artists, and fans to explore new storylines and challenges for the Man of Steel. The transition from the original creator's Man of Steel to the headcanon that has whatever ability best suits the storyline was a gradual process, shaped by reader engagement and the creative minds behind the character, but not the original creator. Turning our attention to Dragon Ball, we encounter Goku, a Saiyan warrior created by Akira Toriyama. With a similar backstory of being sent to Earth as an infant, Goku's potential for growth and immense power quickly became evident. As envisioned by Akira Toriyama, Goku's powers would easily surpass the original incarnation of Superman. Unlike Superman, Goku's powers are not confined to specific limits. The character was designed to constantly train, learn new techniques, and unlock new forms, such as the Super Saiyan state. Goku's determination and unyielding will to get stronger allow him to adapt and triumph over seemingly insurmountable foes. His raw power combined with his martial arts mastery, teleportation abilities, and energy blasts paint the picture of an opponent far too powerful for Superman in any version. Superman's journey from his humble beginnings to the near invincible iconic hero we see today reflects the desires and expectations of readers throughout the years. The introduction of new abilities and a greater scope of power have kept the character fresh and relevant in the comics and cartoons, but has had less than stellar box office performances. In contrast, Goku in his original form embodies limitless potential and poses a challenge to Superman that he would not be able to surpass. Both characters hold a special place in the hearts of fans, with their individuality and unique set of powers captivating audiences in their respective universes. When discussing who would win out of Superman and Goku, consider this. Over time, subsequent writers kept adding new powers to the character. This power creep was intended to keep readers interested, but it often strained believability. These additional powers, while impressive, began to go beyond what Siegel and Shuster initially envisioned for the character. And that's a wrap, folks. In this video, we discussed how the original Superman, as depicted by Siegel and Shuster, will be powerless against Goku as written by Akira Toriyama. We explored the concept of headcanon and how the subsequent Superman writers added powers to keep readers engaged. Ultimately, Goku's evolution within Akira Toriyama's vision resulted in an unbeatable force. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to comment below with your thoughts and suggestions for our next Power Showdown. Stay super, everyone. Welcome back to Crawford Farms Entertainment. Today, we look at an interesting matchup, Superman versus One Punch Man. Before we get started, if you haven't already, make sure you click that subscribe button and hit the notification icon. In a diverse multiverse of superheroes, each with their own unique abilities and narratives, there's a simmering question that continues to pique the interest of both hardcore enthusiasts and the casual fan. Who would be the victor in an all-out battle between Saitama and DC's quintessential superhero, Superman? One Punch Man, also known as Saitama, is an intriguing character. In his self-contained universe, he is practically invincible. His strength is not quantified or bounded by any limitation. From the very moment he was conceptualized, Saitama has had whatever power he needed to win any battle effortlessly. He embodies a paradox of strength, a character so strong that no enemy poses a challenge to him. Tortured by the boredom caused by his own might, he is a hero that has to find joy outside of his life as a crime fighter. Compare that to Superman, the Man of Steel, the alien from Krypton. You'll find a fascinating dichotomy. Superman was not initially the paragon of power that we know him as today. In fact, he evolved into the invincible godlike figure through continuous redevelopment, spearheaded by several different writers. His creators had to continually amplify his abilities so as not to render this beloved icon redundant in the face of emerging layered and more powerful rivals. So imagine One Punch Man meeting One Up Man, trademark pending. As a matter of fact, Submariner actually had the ability to fly before Superman. Naturally, if you put the two against each other in a neutral playing field, it presents an interesting battle. Saitama, with his all-encompassing strength, will pose a daunting challenge to Superman, who, despite being nigh invincible, has certain limitations and vulnerabilities. I imagine if the battle did occur, Saitama would do something like a serious series kryptonite punch and dispose of the Man of Steel in some horrific and terrifying way. On the same note, if Saitama were foolish enough to step into Superman's universe, Big Blue's army of writers would create some nonsensical path to victory for the hero. However, if the two meet up in a neutral territory, the fact that Saitama was created to defeat anyone with one punch will mean that Superman will fare no better than Boros or that giant Fish King guy.
Serious question? If DC says that Doomsday is significantly stronger than Superman, why do Superman fanboys believe Superman could somehow beat Goku? No one believes Doomsday would beat Goku or even the Incredible Hulk, but Doomsday beats Superman to death. Let that sink in.